Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are here for you. We welcome your phone calls at 844-236-6010, 844-236-6010. If you have questions about the longevity products, longevity business, health challenges that you need help with, if you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, if you have comments about or questions about our Truth Skin Health products, which are all available at truthtreatments.com. Everything your skin needs and nothing it doesn't at truthtreatments.com. If you have questions about the longevity business, or if you have just a contribution to make to whatever we're speaking about here today, 844-236-6010 is our number on the Bright Side. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products right off the website. You can also sign up to join the Bright Side Ben phone team right off the website as well, or call the phone team at 866-735-2470 and sign up to join the Brightside Ben team for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself. If you're an entrepreneur, it's a great way to make some money. It's a great way to be in the nutrition business. If nutritional supplementation has helped you or your loved ones, you want to pay it forward, 866-735-2470 is the number to call for more information, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about crystals and the crystalline nature of life, really, the crystalline nature of the body. Everything in the body is crystalline. All living tissue is crystalline tissue. Bone is crystalline. Skin is crystalline. The chemicals of our body many times are crystalline themselves. We really got to, the idea of crystals has to be moved from the world of new age airy-fairy to the world of life, of reality, of science, of biology, of biochemistry. We live in a world where we're still thinking Newtonian. We're not thinking energy. We're thinking mechanistic. Isaac Newton, obviously, is considered to be one of the greatest geniuses of all time, and he came up with the concept that God is a great watchmaker, that everything is clockwork, everything is mechanistic. That's called classical physics. The world of energy physics, quantum physics, didn't get going until the beginning of the 20th century, and we still haven't caught on as a society or as a culture. We're still living in a mechanistic world, and nowhere is this demonstrated more clearly than the world of medicine, which works through chemistry, through mechanisms, through symptoms, through adjustments, adjusting the physiology of the body, adjusting the biochemistry of the body. We haven't really entered into the electrical world. We know about bioelectricity. I've got textbooks on bioelectricity, and there's a lot of stuff about bioelectricity. But usually when you read about bioelectricity in textbooks, you're reading about the electrical activity that powers your heart or your muscles. What I'm talking about here is electrons, little tiny electrons, not big electricity, but little electricity. Of course, the big electricity is made up of the little electricity, but when you zoom in to what's happening from an electromagnetic or electrical perspective, you start to see some amazing things, like crystals. like crystal water. That still blows me away every time I think of that. How do you have crystal water? But we do. It's a fourth state of water. We've only known about it for about 20 or 30 years. And if the body's 70% water, that means we're a lot of crystalline water. And crystalline water, like all crystals, has electrical activity. And there's an especially interesting electrical reaction or electrical phenomena that occurs between water and connective tissue. We're always talking about connective tissue on this program. To me, understanding that connective tissue is the key to understanding disease and aging, or health and anti-aging. When we age and when we're diseased, our connective tissue breaks down. Now, keep in mind, the connective tissue is not just fibers. It's not just connections. The connective tissue also feeds the cells. All the cells in the body are fed through the connective tissue. All of the oxygen is delivered to the cells via the connective tissue. And a detoxification occurs via the connective tissue. So when the connective tissue breaks down, the cells are going to break down. Building connective tissue is the very essence of anti-aging. It's the very essence of health and wellness. Bone broth protein, vitamin C, bone broth, cartilage, glucosamine, zinc, essential fatty acids, vitamin A. These are all critical for high hyaluronic acid, silica. These are all critical for building connective tissue. If you want to anti-age, build connective tissue. If you want a down and dirty, quick hack into connective tissue building via supplementation, use arthritis supplements. Arthritis supplements are formulated to build connective tissue in the joints, but they're going to build connective tissue everywhere. Glucosamine is a wonderful supplement to take for everything. You don't have to have arthritis to benefit from glucosamine. It's the best anti-wrinkle supplement. Our collagen recovery complex, which is available at truthtreatments.com, is loaded with connective tissue building nutrients. And not only is it going to build connective tissue for your skin, for fighting wrinkles, but it'll do it in your blood vessels, and you'll do it in your joints too. So the connective tissue is made up of fibers and goo, and the goo is highly electrical, and the fiber has a very interesting property, the collagen mostly. There's other fibers, but mostly it's collagen. The collagen fiber has this really interesting ability to create a battery and to structure the water so it has charges. The charges are separated like a battery. It turns the water, which is in the gel, to a battery. It turns the water, which is in the goo, to a battery. That water, that 70% water, is mostly in this crystalline form that allows it to conduct electrical energy just like a battery. That means all of the fluids in the body, the water in the body, all the fluids in the body function electrically like a battery does. And as all the fluids are moving, which they should be moving, they're generating electrical charges. So the body is fundamentally, before its chemistry, it's electrical, largely because of this living fourth state of water, this structured water. Yesterday we talked about structured water in plants. Plants are loaded with structured water, and you can actually up your structured water, up your crystalline water by eating plants, eating veggie juices or drinking veggie juices, eating salads. That's why salads are so, and even high water content veggies are so important, even though it doesn't seem like they would be because they're all water. So when you have particles and structures, things in the water that are water-loving, hydrophilic, water, they're attracted to water, but they don't dissolve in water, the interaction between these solid water-loving particles and the water creates these highways of energy, pathways through which energy can flow. It turns the water into a conductive substance. Silver, by the way, is superconductive, and this is what makes colloidal silver so interesting. Colloids are these particles, and when silver is held in colloidal form in liquid, silver being superconductive, you get a really interesting electromagnetically active solution. This is what gives colloidal silver its many, many health benefits, purported health benefits. You read about them. I don't know if they've ever done they probably have done clinical studies. Colloidal silver is pretty darn interesting stuff, actually, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the silver is so conductive and it's colloidal. All right, we'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. You're listening to The Bright Side. Brightside 844-236-6010 is our number, and we have lines open. We'll get your calls in our next segment, 844-236-6010. You can purchase longevity products by calling 866-735-2470 or off the websites brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can purchase our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so we're talking about the nature of colloidal substances. Colloids are just things that don't dissolve in water. They hang in water. They suspend in water, and via this suspension, this hanging in water, they create very interesting electrical charges, electrical energy. Colloidal silver, everybody's heard of that, and there's a lot of anecdotal literature about colloidal silver. I haven't really read any hardcore scientific studies on it, and I can't say I know a lot. I've never really used colloidal silver that much, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. Maybe you have some stories about colloidal silver. I'd love to hear them. 844-236-6010 if you want to chime in. But colloidal silver works via this whole concept of colloids, substances, things hanging in water, generating electrical charges. And, of course, silver is one of the most conductive of anything. Platinum, silver, copper, those are your most conductive metals, most conductive metals, elements. So the combination of the conductivity, the superconductivity, not superconductivity, but high conductivity of silver and its colloidal nature creates a really interesting substance that has got a lot of anecdotal evidence about its health benefits. Colloids are really, really interesting. Scientists, Nobel Prize-winning scientists studied colloids, including Albert Einstein, at the end of the 20th century. The whole idea of this, when you hang something in water, you're creating electrical charges. It's just super fascinating, has a lot of implications to play for health. If you have a back pain, for example, or for that matter, arthritis, any shriveling up of the cartilage, a lot of that has to do with a lack of water in the cartilage. Now, you can drink water, but that's not going to really help you if you don't have the cartilage, because the cartilage has to trap the water. So when we age and we have arthritis, we have joint problems, back problems, and back pain is a serious issue. 500,000 people have back surgeries every year. A lot of that has to do with the cartilage shriveling up. And so you hear people talk about drinking more water, and it is definitely helpful to drink water, but not necessarily from a structural standpoint, more from a chemistry standpoint. From a structural standpoint, that water has to be trapped, which is why you want to be using connective tissue building supplements, number one, and also, for that matter, veggie juices. If you have back pain, arthritis, any shriveling cartilage issues, drinking veggie juices can be a way to increase or upregulate or improve the amount or enhance the amount of structured water that's in your body. Pre-juice, before you juice a vegetable, you're looking at a classic colloidal substance. It doesn't seem that way, but it's a colloidal substance in the sense that there's particles held in organized and structured water. There's proteins and there's sugars in the vegetables, and these proteins and sugars form substances that arrange the water to create crystalline water. A stalk of celery is loaded with crystalline water. It's a crystal, and you get a little battery. And veggies are electroactive. Yes, a celery is electromagnetic. A stalk of celery has electromagnetic potential. Subtle, but it's there. All veggies are electrically active. When you eat a veggie, you're eating electricity. You're eating the sources of electricity, which are the colloids and the solution. And this crystalline nature that a stick of celery or a broccoli floret has allows it to channel electrons and magnetism. It holds everything in place. This is how the colloids and the liquid in water are held in place through electrical energy. When we make a juice, we break all of that electrical. We break that system. We destroy the crystals. We break up the solution. Now, some of that energy will stay trapped in your juice, but it will dissipate over time. That's why when you're doing veggie juices, you want to do them fresh right away, while that energy is still there. It doesn't take very long. It takes 5 or 10 minutes. You can actually see the energy dissipating. As you leave your juice on the counter, you'll notice that the water starts to separate out. You'll start to see layers form. The layers, the formation of layers is what you're witnessing is the dissipation of all that energy that we should be drinking. That's why when you drink it fresh, you're drinking that energy. If you leave it on your counter, that energy dissipates. The water's going to lose its structure. The battery's no longer present. The energy is not going to get into your body. Now, there'll be a little bit. There's always going to be a little bit. Not always. There'll be a little bit over the course of time. But things like V8 and fake veggie juice or processed veggie juice, there's very little electrical energy there. So do your juices fresh and drink them fresh. All living things are electrical. All living things run on electrical energy. The human body runs on electrical energy. Bioelectricity, which is the name we give to electrons flowing through our cells and our tissues and our organs and our structures, is something we've known about since Galvani in the late 18th century. But we really didn't get going on the whole the electron nature, the quantum nature of the electricity until very recently. And crystals are at the heart of the whole thing. Crystals don't just allow energy to flow. Crystals allow energy to flow with a certain amount of control. This is the key. So the electrons are being controlled. The electrons that flow through crystals are being turned on. The flow is being raised and lowered like a volume switch. Crystal flow can be higher, or energy flow through crystals can be higher or lower. And by adjusting this higher or lower, adjusting the electron flow higher or lower, you can create what's called a resistor. And crystals act as resistor systems, and this allows crystal systems to be intelligent. Based on the environment, they can allow more or less energy to flow. When we're healthy, we're going to respond to our environment much more effectively. We're going to be more responsive. Our crystalline nature will allow energy to flow in a more responsive way. When we're sick, that doesn't happen as well. When we're sick, the electrical energy is not controlled. The electrical energy is not adapting. Sickness is a lack of adaptation. Sickness is a problem adapting. It's a problem adapting in a healthy way. It's a type of adaptation, but it's not a functional adaptation. When we're sick, when we're chronically sick, our bodies are not responding to the environment in a healthy fashion. And a lot of that has to do with the deterioration of our crystalline nature. The job of nutrition and the job of good food is to support the flow of energy through the crystalline body, through the crystals. That's what nutrition does. Crystals store and release energy in response to the environment intelligently. They store and release energy intelligently. But it turns out that the electricity is not really a thing. It's not really something that can be stored. It's like a vibration. And so the fundamental nature is not necessarily, the fundamental nature of the body is not electrons themselves, but it's vibration. Electrons are vibrating. Everything's vibrating. Crystals are vibrations. Crystals aren't things, they're vibrations. They're just coherent vibrations that can transmit messages. The body is a crystalline substance that is vibrating to passing information through its vibrations the way we pass information through our sound vibrations. So the human body is like a field of information. And if you understand language, you could do a lot of things with health. That's why a good healthcare professional is going to ask about symptoms. What's happening in the body? That's all information. And that's all the information you need, is what the symptoms are. What are your symptoms? All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. Pharmacist Ben here. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls here in just a moment. Don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Truth Retinol 1% and Truth Retinol 5% gel, Truth Transdermal C Serum, Truth Transdermal C Balm, and our Truth Omega 6 Healing Cream. Our Core 4 Truth products, as well as our Truth Cleansers and Truth Supplements, are all up at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. For you guys who want to start a longevity business or start any business, if you're an entrepreneur, check out the longevity business opportunity at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, or call 866-735-2470 for more information. All right, so we'll continue talking about the nature of crystals and how crystals can be read, or I shouldn't say crystals can be read, the effect of crystals can be read by symptomology, by the symptoms in the body. You know, crystals are colors too. All colors come from crystals. Crystals are the source of our reds and our blues and our greens. Our Roy G. Biv is all a function of crystals. And so wherever you have crystals, if you had a subtle enough detection mechanism and you shined light through those crystals, you would get a color. Color is really just how fast a crystal is vibrating, whether the crystal is in your eyeballs, your eyes, I should say, or the crystal is in a pigment from a plant. What makes something red or blue or green or yellow is how fast that crystal is vibrating. If you're seeing red, the crystal that is forming that red, whether it's a carotene pigment, a carotene molecule in a carrot, or whether it's a red cone, a red eye cell, they call them cones, a red eye cell, is vibrating for red maybe 400 trillion times a second. Red, yes, to see red, that crystal's got to vibrate 400 trillion times a second. Sit with that one for a little bit. And red is the slowest color. The fastest color is violet. You guys have all heard of Roy G. Biv, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Violet is the fastest color. That's vibrating at 750 trillion times a second in order for us to see violet. That's why you don't see a lot of violet, right? You don't see as much violet as you do red. In nature, you tend to see more of the reds and the oranges and the yellows and the greens. Those are the slower colors. In any case, we're talking about a lot of vibration. Cells, remember, cells themselves are crystalline, so the cells are emitting colors. If we could but see it, the cells would be like a kaleidoscope of colors that are morphing and shape-shifting and changing based on the chemistry that's going on inside the cell. You ever seen those pictures they take at fairs, at festivals? There's called Kirlian photography. They can actually take pictures of the energies, the colors that are emanating off your body based on the various pigments in your skin, or based on the energies that are coming off of your skin. That's called Kirlian photography. It's a guy named Harry Oldfield. We're going to talk about him in the next couple of days. Harry Oldfield has multiple books where he talks about these energy flows and the colors related to these various energy flows, and he's got lots of pictures. Harry Oldfield is kind of an inventor, and he invented these cameras that could take pictures of these things, and they're super, super cool, these pictures. He took pictures he took pictures of the body, but he also took pictures of things like leaves and plants and blood. Some amazing stuff. Harry Oldfield's Invisible Universe. Great book. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's get to a story or two, and then we'll get your phone calls. So hang tight. This is from my favorite, one of my favorite magazines, which is the Townsend Letter. This is a article that was published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry. Does a fast food diet cause heart disease? That seems like a silly question. Rats were fed for 18 weeks a standard rodent diet or a Western diet comparable to a fast food meal, including a sugar-sweetened beverage and dessert. The Western diet contains 61% sugars, 20% fat, and 19% protein. And by the way, that's just about what the standard American diet is. 61% sugar, 20% fat, and 20% protein. After 18 weeks, the rats fed the Western diet had hyperglycemia. You know, we always talk about dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar, hyperinsulinemia, too much insulin, hypertriglyceridemia, too much blood fats, and increased concentrations of advanced glycation end products. You guys, I'm telling you, there's no way to get around it. If you eat the standard American diet, you're going to have the standard American blood measurements. And then, of course, they also had increased cardiac fibrosis. Fibrosis being a connective tissue issue, damaged heart tissue, leads to fiber formation in the heart. Left ventricular hypertrophy, that means your heart's getting bigger. Just messed up heart health. You can't get around it, folks. There's no way to eat the standard American diet. And the standard American diet not only will make us sicker, it'll domesticate us too. Not only does it confront us to interface with the medical model and weaken us so that we can't function as fully fledged human beings, but it also domesticates us. It makes us easier to control. And I'm hearing a lot of stuff now, by the way, about drugs, from AARP and other organizations about how greedy the drug companies are and how unfair it is that they're selling their drugs at a crazy elevated price. according to the AARP, the drug companies need to lower their drug prices so we can all get more drugs. That is ridiculous, AARP. How about if we get everybody on a nutritional supplement program? How about if we put everybody on longevity products? What is this idea that people have to take their prescription drugs so badly, need their prescription drugs so badly that we have to keep the prices low? We have to force companies to lower their prices. That's not right. Let them charge whatever they want, but you don't have to take them. There is no prescription drug that's going to make you better, period. There may be some prescription drugs that will keep you in the game, and sometimes you need to be kept in the game, but only for the short term. In the long run, there's no prescription drugs that are going to make you better. Period. End of story. There's no way to get around it. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's say good morning to Barry in New Orleans. What's up, Barry? Welcome to the Bright Side.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I want to ask you first, the benefits of exercise. Have they been clearly proven? I think so, but I still just want you to,
Don't think about it like exercise. Think about it like movement. And think about it like stimulation. Forget the word exercise. Do you think a living system, will benefit by being stimulated? Forget the word exercise. Just common sense. Do you think a living system would benefit from stimulation? Not overstimulation, but stimulation? Do you think it would benefit from dynamism, from action? If you think it will benefit from dynamism and action, if you understand how adaptation occurs, how systems become more equipped or better equipped to handle dynamism and handle action, then you can just use your common sense and say all systems will benefit from stress and adaptation to that stress. So that's what we're really talking about here is movement, which leads to stress, and adaptation to that movement/stress. And that's exercise in a nutshell. Forget the word exercise. Just use common sense. So yes, and you can observe this effect by trimming your leaves back on your plant. You'll see the plants grow back thicker and bushier. It really is just common sense. But yes, every marker of health will improve with exercise. Heart health improves, blood pressure improves. This has all been demonstrated. Cognition improves, hand-eye coordination improves, pretty much all markers of health. Barry, hang on, okay? We're going to take a break and we'll finish up when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Got lines open, 844-236-6010. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We're talking to Barry in New Orleans. So yeah, Barry, every marker of health improves from exercise. Immune system improves, brain function improves, heart health improves, pretty much every marker of health. But it's just common sense. You don't really need to study. You don't really need to look at art studies or research. I mean, just stimulation always improves the functioning of systems that have an ability to adapt. Within parameters, you can overstimulate and destroy a system, of course, but within parameters, systems will always improve the functioning of a system that is designed to adapt like a living system. Does that help answer your question there? Does that answer your query?
Yes. And
Okay,
I would like to ask you, how do you run, there's so much conflicting opinions on what's the best things to eat. Like some people say, vegetarians are not in the top 20 of the longest living.
You got to use your own. You're right. There's a zillion diets out there and strategies out there and protocols and programs. You got to go with your intuition, number one. You've got to study, number two. It's a combination of intuition plus facts plus knowledge. There's knowledge plus there's intuition, and then you experiment. And then this is the scientific method. You apply the scientific method to your strategies, to your life, really. The scientific method uses hypotheses, which is an assumption, and then tests the hypotheses, and then feeds it back in based on the results. And it's just the scientific method applied to life. And that's what we talk about in this program all the time. It's the scientific method applied to nutrition. So you have a hypothesis, say exercise is good for you. You test the hypothesis, you go out and work out. You come back and you see, oh, my blood pressure dropped and my mental functioning is, my cognitive functioning is improving and I'm sleeping better. Then then you know that your hypothesis was correct. You feel like crap. You break your bones. You're all sore. You don't feel good at all. You know your hypothesis was incorrect, and then you go and tweak the hypothesis. It's the scientific method. That's how you do everything. In my opinion, that's how we should be living life. Scientific method. Hypothesize, test the hypothesis, feed it back into the original assumption, and then adjust. All right? Yes?
Yes. So my understanding, because about sugar, I used to think that people were just talking about white sugar, but all forms of sugar, one has to be leery of. Figure it this way, Barry, and then I'm going to let you go. I want to get to a few more calls. You want to eat as close to your primitive ancestors as possible. Okay, there's some exceptions. We adapted a little bit, of course, to eat, to do dairy and a few other things. But for the most part, our bodies and our bodies' needs, food needs and nutritional needs, are the same that our caveman ancestors had, our primitive ancestors. They didn't have a lot of sugar. They had very little sugar. So the body doesn't really have the chemistry to handle the kind of sugar that we get today. Today we process sugar. About maybe 400 or 500 years ago, which is a blip in terms of evolution, it's a blip, we figured out how to process sugar and really didn't get going until maybe 100, 200 years ago. And so we're subsisting with these high concentrated sugar foods that the body can't handle. Sugar is very explosive stuff. So once sugar gets into the system in this purified concentrated form, it initiates a biochemical cascade that leads to a lot of health problems. So it's not like you want to have zero tolerance for it, but the closer you can get to zero tolerance, the better off you're going to be, because the body doesn't fit in with the body's preferred menu. Concentrated sugar does not. Honey's a little bit different because it has a lot of cofactors in there, but even honey, there wasn't a lot of honey on the African savanna either. So, you just got to respect the sugar. That's what I say. Respect it. Don't necessarily need zero tolerance, but respect it. All right? And then use supplements to help your body process the sugar. Chromium, vanadium, magnesium, zinc, vitamin A, more fiber. All of these can help the body process sugar, and they tend to be in short supply in the standard American diet. And by the way, alpha lipoic acid is another great and very underappreciated sugar metabolizing or sugar processing supplement. Selenium and sulfur are also helpful. All right, Barry, thanks for your call. Appreciate it, my friend. Dave and the Thumb, what's going on? Nice to hear your voice here in a moment.
Great to hear you, brother. Thank you for all you do. Pam and I love your teaching skills. You're incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What's going on?
So I know, we kind of were supposed to do a little silver expose there a while ago, but unfortunately, I don't do the internet, and I really can't look stuff up. I just go by practical experience. So
you know a lot about colloidal silver, right?
Yeah, we're talking about silver. So you asked for some stories. I'm going to give you some quick bullet points, things I've had, what most people would say would be miraculous results. And I know you say it's not a miracle, it's just nutrition, right?
Yeah, so, it's just the way the body works, right?
Yeah, so in ear infection, swimmer's ear, pink eye or conjunctivitis.
You just drop it in there? You just put a few drops in your ear or in your eye?
Yes, absolutely. Well, let me go through the bullet points, and then maybe we'll talk about them at another show on how to do all this stuff. But so it's really easy. But so warts, moles, nasal infection, sinus infection, colds, flu vaccines. A pregnant woman got a flu vaccine. So you use a sonic nebulizer. You inhale ionic silver, which is different from colloidal, but it infuses your respiratory system. The manufacturer of this unit I have says up to 72 hours. So it goes immediately through the lungs into the bloodstream. And I've had results with all of this stuff.
Personal results.
Personal.
Okay. That's the best. That's the best test is your own personal results.
And there is no placebo effect here at all.
Are you making it or are you buying it?
We used to purchase it. We started using it in 2006, and then in 2010 we started making it. And we make an endless supply. The manufacturer says you'll make an endless supply of Colloidal silver for life, and we're going to pass this thing down generations. Right? This machine that makes.
How much does the thing cost? How much does it cost?
It's a little less than $500 for a kit that. It came with these silver diodes, they call them. They're rods. They're about 10 inches long, and they're very thick and heavy. Ben, every time we use the machine, they get black, and you got this copper scrubber, and you repolish them. But I have not in 10 years, well, since 2010, I have not noticed any diminishing in size of these rods at all.
And where did you get it? Where did you buy it?
It's called silverlungs.com. The inventor is an engineer. His name is Mario Cifaldi, and he is you've been on Vincent Finelli's USA Prepares before.
Yeah.
He's an expert teacher on that program. He hasn't been on.
I'm gonna have to contact him. I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, definitely. So next time we'll set up a call, and I'll tell you how you'd use all this.
Thank you, Dave. It's good to talk to you, man. I'm gonna get one more call in, buddy.
You too, Ben.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate the support. And let's give Tim in California the last word. What's going on, Tim? How you doing?
Very good, Ben. Thank you. I get cracks in my hands that heal very slowly. A pharmacist had recommended I use cortisone cream,
crazy.
which is fine.
No, don't use cortisone. I'm a pharmacist saying don't use cortisone. That's crazy. You don't have maybe for a night or something if you're absolutely miserable. Cracks in the hands need to be regarded as a fat problem. You're not making enough hand fat or skin fat, I should say, in your hands, and also probably has to do with how cells are growing and dividing. I'd be number one using fat supplements, and number two helping your body process fats. They're both important. So Ultimate EFAs from Youngevity, 20,000 IU of vitamin A every day, 400 IU of vitamin E every day. Probably MSM sulfur would help, 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate a day. Make sure you're using the Beyond Tangy Tangerine to get your vitamin C. Vitamin C, by the way, is very important for the production of moisture factors. Then you want to make sure you're absorbing your fats. I'm assuming you have your gallbladder and you don't necessarily have any digestive health issues. So get yourself on the Ultimate Enzymes. Use them with all of your meals. Get on the Nightly Essence. There's a very important relationship between probiotics and good bacteria, that is, and the absorption and the utilization of fats. Make sure you're using fiber on a regular basis. Keeping the intestine healthy is super duper important for fat absorption and or fat malabsorption issues. That's what it sounds like you're dealing with. Now, I assume you don't have any digestive food problems, but if you do, you got to eliminate problem foods as well, because that'll mess up your intestine. I'm going to let you go there. I don't know what that sound is. Thanks for your call, Tim. I hope I helped you out. And that's all the time we have for today on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Check out our skin health products at truthtreatments.com, the Youngevity products at pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, or brightsideben.com. And that's all for now. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.